Tonight, SDA pastors speak out against the Pride March to be held in St. Lucia, but deny any hate towards the gay community.
He created a male and female for companion, and then he gave the reasons for their existence, he gave them their duty, and then the first human family was constructed.
The Ministry of National Security warns of fraudulent claims of its department conducting voter registration, and consumer protection will soon be law. How does the business community feel about it? That and more coming up.
This is the Hot 7 Nightly News with Lovelace and Amy Joseph.
Good evening. It is Thursday, the 15th of August, 2019. Welcome to the Hot 7 TV Nightly News. We're on Flow Channel 117, also being simulcast on Kiss FM 105.5 and 105.9. We're live on Facebook at Caribbean Hot 7 TV, on our website www.caribbeanhottv.com, or on our free Caribbean Hot FM mobile app. I'm lovely St. Amy Joseph. Thank you for joining us. Opposition to the planned Pride March is not an attack, so says church leaders of the Seventh-day Adventist Mission after calling a press conference to address the upcoming Pride activities. The men of the cloth say of late anyone speaking out against homosexuality is labeled as a hate monger or bigot. They say the church must clear the air on the matter. The SDA pastors say their stance is one which emanates from a place of love and is founded on the Word of God. Solange Alfred tells us more.
The show must go on as members of the LGBT community ready themselves to engage the public with Pride activities centered around a health fair to raise awareness on human rights and LGBTQI issues. Conversely, pastor of the SDA Mission, Roger Stevens, says the religious organization will not show support to the activities organized by the LGBTQI community.
It's the same Bible that speaks against same-sex relationship and same-sex marriage. It's the same Bible. So this is why we are saying, as a church, fundamental for us is the Word of God and where we receive our theology and doctrinal beliefs from. So the LGBT community can go on with their show, but that does not make it right, because prescribed in the Word of God, a relationship is between a male and a female. So do we give support to it? No, we can't give support. Just like, say for example, a group of drunkards, a group of thieves, a group of murderers would come together and seeking awareness. Would the church come and give support to it? No, we won't.
Stevens says oftentimes organizations which do not show support to the agenda of the LGBTQI are labeled as spewing hate speech. However, he affirms the organization is speaking from a place of love and guidance.
You know, every time you stand on your principle and moral belief or doctrinal belief and you speak, then the LGBT community would immediately classify it as hate speech. This is not hate speech, and this has nothing to do with hate, because I must tell you that as a church, the Seventh-day Adventist Church in St. Lucia, do we have members who might be falling prey to it? Of course. Do we hate them? Do we throw them under the bus? Do we just, castigate them? No. We, as any other person who has a weakness, we would seek to work with them, love them still. And this is what we do as a church, and this is who we are. So there's nothing about hate. It's about standing on a principle and a belief as a church.
The pastor went on to say the press conference called to address the matter of the upcoming Pride initiative is not a targeted attack on the LGBTQI population.
I will not deny that we have not been very often in the media. I will not deny that we have not been silent on certain issues. But you ask me, is it a special target against the LGBT? No. It's not.
The religious official says the need to address the matter of LGBTQI pride currently is in direct response to the group's movement as of late, and the issue being one of pressing concern. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I am Solange Alfred.
The Department of Home Affairs and National Security has been made aware of reports that a group of people is allegedly going into homes where they will present documents bearing the purported letterhead of the Department of Home Affairs and National Security. The department has contacted the police in an attempt to obtain reliable information in case reports were made about this activity. In the interest of public safety, the department wants to assure the public that it is not associated with any such activity. Members of the public are encouraged to inform the police of anyone who may have approached them purporting to be officers of the Department of Home Affairs and National Security. There is a police hotline that members of the public should save so that they can speed dial the police in relation to this matter. It is 45-CRIME or 452-7463. The legal officer within the Ministry of Commerce, Dylan Norbert Inglis, recently announced that the Consumer Protection Act will be in full force. The former president of the National Consumers Association, Hubert James, expressed his belief that the act will greatly benefit consumers and lauded the work of the NCA. However, business owners, especially in the retail industry, will be affected. We cannot help but wonder if it's for the better or worse in the business community.
The Consumer Rights Association is one step closer to the advancement of consumer protection in St. Lucia. Under the Act, the Complaints and Investigations Unit at the Consumer Affairs Department will be tasked with the responsibility of handling customer redress. Business owners have been asked to speak up on their views in relation to the commencement of the Act. Manish Matani of Voyager Castries had this to say.
I think that the bill that they want to pass for the consumer protection is both a good and a bad thing. I think it's important that they have some dialogue with the business people to find out what their take on it is. But it is important that the consumers are protected. And as a businessman, I feel it's my responsibility to make sure that my customers are treated well and they have certain facilities for them to protect them from products that they are not happy with. And I am more than happy to assist them as much as possible. After all, it is because of the customers I am in business and I depend on them just as much as they depend on me.
The business owner stresses for the need for cooperation and says both customers and businesses can benefit from the Act if approached fairly.
So it is a relationship we have, and it's important that we both follow the stipulations and the rules and regulations that are enforced by the laws, so that we can both have beneficial relationships. So it's important that these things happen, but it's important also that the businesses are protected in their own ways, because there are times when customers make fraudulent claims and we as business people have to see that these claims are fulfilled, even if it's not fair, and that I find is unfair to us as businesses. So it is a double-edged sword, but it can be resolved, and a good compromise can come about if we have dialogue between customers and between business places and come to a proper compromise.
Matani says that the business community could learn from this development and create avenues to address common issues as a collective.
We don't really have an association of businesses, at least not one that I'm not a member of, so we haven't had much talk. I find that's very sad that the businesses in St. Lucia don't really meet up and talk about the problems they face together and try to resolve those problems together. It's sad. For years I've been tooting that we need to make sure that we as businesses stand together and come as a collective to figure out and solve problems that we all face, that we all experience. But that hasn't happened, and that's something that we can look at. I hope one day that we will find that these things will happen.
Matani says that a business owners association would have been effective in not just ensuring the fairness of the agreement, but in enhancing its speed as well. Matani welcomes the commencement with open arms and hopes for effective communication between respective parties. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I am Jacques Wooding.
Employees of Buckeye St. Lucia Terminal Limited will soon have the opportunity to take part in a poll which will allow the employees to gain union representation from the St. Lucia Civil Service Association, CSA, if they so desire. The Acting Labour Commissioner and management of Buckeye are all readying themselves to have the employees engaged in the activity. More in this report.
Mobilization efforts by the St. Lucia Civil Service Association, CSA, to attract the employees of Buckeye St. Lucia Terminal Limited to join the CSA will now be moved into a poll recognition stage whereby employees will be allowed to cast their vote for whether or not they wish to have CSA represent them as a union. Rumors of intimidation tactics to hinder employees from unionization have swirled around the industrial relations for the operation. However, Assistant General Secretary Mark Stephen Obertine says, as far as he knows, the intimidation rumor is just that, a rumor.
We do not know for sure that that has happened in the case of Buckeye, although there are rumors to that effect, but we as the CSC, we do not have any first-hand proof that that is going on. As a matter of fact, during our meeting with Buckeye and the Labor Departments, which I must indicate to you that the meeting was very, very cordial, we indicated that to them at the end of our meeting, and the company said to us, in no uncertain terms, via the attorney who was present, that this is not the case. Buckeye would do no such thing. So we have the case where there's a rumor that is being done. The company told us at the meeting it's not being done. But as I know, having been in that area for years, I know at times that this thing does happen.
Meanwhile, Obertine says the union stands ready to accommodate all the employees looking to cast their vote for union representation by the CSA.
The poll will take place on the 22nd of this month, that is next Thursday. We also agreed that the poll would take place on the premises of Buckeye in the conference room, and the time of poll will be from 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. That is to cater for the shifts that Buckeye has. I think there are 3 shifts, 7, 3, 11, 11, 7. So if we start at 7, we will capture those workers coming in at 7 and those leaving at 7 in the morning. And of course, in the afternoon, 7, 3, when they come in, the 3 o'clock would vote. So we end the poll at 4 o'clock. So that has been done. So everything we think is in place. The only thing now is that the Labour Commissioner indicated to the parties that he would need to visit the site along with a representative of the CSA to ensure that the site is okay, everything is in place, so that the poll can go ahead as discussed.
The need of a union, Obertine says, is to strengthen the power of the employees within an organization and to rally for fair and equal treatment for all employees.
I'm saying to the workers, not only Buckeye, I'm speaking to Buckeye now directly, because it's their turn on the 22nd to come out. We urging all of them to vote, and all of them to vote for the union so that we can come in and give them representation. We're not saying that we can bring down everything from heaven for them, but we, as a CSA, will ensure that their rights are protected at work.
The CSA, which was formed in the 1940s, offers an organized and structured approach to problems confronting public officers. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I am Solange Alfred.
Authorities are on the hunt for a new location for the Viewfort landfill. The landfill will soon be closed, and what to do about waste from Soufrière to Micoud remains a question. The St. Lucia Solid Waste Management Authority is on an awareness campaign of sorts to justify the closure and relocation.
The closure of an existing landfill and the assignment of a new site is as much an environmental and planning challenge as it is a political dilemma. Both administrations have been faced with the socio-political quandary. Shock Estate was once a dumping ground for nearly all the island's waste. But after 20 years, it was closed and the trash moved to Cicera. In 2003, Cicera was capped and the Deglo site was commissioned amidst much opposition. Today, residents from Micoud to Soufrière are in an environmental pickle as government debates the closure of the landfill they haven't come to rely on for the past 23 years.
We definitely would need a new location, either for a transfer facility or for an actual landfill. I know they're looking at several other locations, and I don't think the idea is to terminate a landfill in the south altogether. I don't think the authority is on the hard and fast measure to just forget about Viewfort altogether. but to actually look for a new location within the southern area.
Landfill fires fall into two categories, surface and underground fires, and both have occurred at this site in recent times. The suspected cause is spontaneous combustion. This was further compounded when over 3,000 tires were set ablaze.
You have two schools. You also have an infant school in that general area. We were supposed to evacuate everybody in that path. We were supposed to, because the fumes of a burning tire is very toxic, very toxic. We have to ensure that the smoke remain moving from south to west because of the hospital, the stadium, all right? Because we didn't want any of the smoke to engulf the stadium.
The St. Jude Hospital, which is located directly opposite this garbage dump, has to deal with the effects as the wind blows.
Thick smoke will cause some respiratory problems for persons, especially in the Larishes area, and then we would have lots of patients coming in. Immediately after the fires, we had these problems. During the dry season, we have lots of flies. Okay, we affected with flies. We have to actually install nettings on our doors and our windows. Okay, that is one area that we affected. You have the stench. If you drive by, you get the stench of the landfill, and it is really posing a threat. You know, it's a health hazard. It has to be out of there. It has to be looked at by the government. Okay, you cannot jeopardize the health and safety of your nation. Okay, for waste disposal.
To date, the St. Lucia Solid Waste Management Authority has not announced the location for the new landfill. However, the current site is expected to be closed by October 2019.
You're watching the Hot 7 TV Nightly News. Still to come, the National Workers' Union and the GNT meet so proposals can be put on the table, offering more support to marginalized women and girls, and more praise for progress in shaping up the city. That and more when we return.